Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest on Storm Agnes, which really is going to batter western and northern areas through tomorrow. We're looking like widely 60 to 70 miles per hour, even for inland areas, especially for Wales, Northern England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. And we could even see winds of up to 80 or 90 miles per hour for coastal areas of the Republic of Ireland, Wales, maybe even nudging into southwest England. We could see some very strong gusts for a short period of time. Now have a look at the latest weather warnings. We'll have a look at the latest Met Office warnings, as we haven't seen any upgrades, but we have seen changes in the warning. So no amber warning issued yet, but I still do think there is a possibility because the warning impact matrix has been upgraded, just not to the extent of an amber warning yet. We'll also have a look at the Met Erin warnings, even though they're not quite as extensive as in detail. And in detail, we have got an orange warning, so they're equivalent of an amber warning issued for many parts or many southern areas of the Republic of Ireland. We'll then have a look at three shorter range runs. Look at the UKV, the Aroma and the Arpège to see what they're forecasting for the strongest wind gusts. We're looking, as I said, widely at 70 miles per hour, up to 80, 90, and even a couple of runs are showing 100 miles per hour further out in the Irish Sea. And then we'll finish by just having a brief look at the longer range, just to keep up to date with what's going to be happening as we head into October, as we had some decent rumblings over the last couple of days of some higher pressure building in. But as ever, there's a little bit of a wobble with that, with runs showing high pressure building in for a time before the westerlies try to push back through. So we'll have a look at that, as I said, briefly in the second half of the video. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, if you start on the live radar, you can see we have had a few convective showers around today. We did see an area of heavy rain move through parts of the Midlands. We've got some remnants of a few thunderstorms or heavy thundery rain that formed across southwest England and South Wales, now moving eastwards. And we've got some heavy thundery showers for parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland as well. Nothing too intense, but where they do occur and these red and orange colours move through, you will know about it. But as I said, nothing too bad. Things, as I said, worsening quite significantly as we head into tomorrow. Now, I'm recording this a little bit later in the day, about 7 p.m, and you can see the temperatures aren't actually too bad. We saw again 21, 22 degrees. We have got some warmer air ahead of Storm Agnes. That warm air is actually helping power Storm Agnes and deepen it at the moment. And you can still see temperatures are in sort of mid to high teens. It's fairly humid for late September. Now, if you go back to the radar, again, we can't have a detailed look at it because this is the future radar, but you can see this is Storm Agnes here. So this is the future predicted radar from the Weather Channel. It's not particularly accurate. You can see it's quite pixelated, but it gives us a rough idea of the positioning of Storm Agnes at the moment, and you can already see that the predictive radar has hook developing within it, again, intensifying those winds around the centre of the low. And it will be moving in, and its track looking likely to move across parts of central Republic of Ireland, with the winds strongest on the southern and eastern edge. Now, if you look at the latest weather warnings, we've got our wind warning issued from midday tomorrow until 7 a.m. on Thursday. So quite a long warning there, about 19 hours worth of weather warnings. Storm Agnes to bring a spell of strong and disruptive winds through Wednesday afternoon into early hours of Thursday. You can see it has been updated. The likelihood of impact has been increased, particularly across Northern Ireland, southwest Scotland, west and northwest Wales, Cumbria and Lancashire. So, as I said, that warning change is a likelihood increase in the warning impact matrix. So you can see here, the likelihood increases, then we will see an amber warning issued. So I do think there is a possibility that we do wake up tomorrow morning, and when the Met Office do their normal warning updates, or when they do look at the warnings on sort of a daily basis, they normally do updates around the 9, 10, 11 a.m. point, we could see this upgrade to amber warning. Unfortunately, I won't be able to put a video out for that if it does occur. So if you are watching this and if you are in those areas where the impact matrix has been increased, do look out for the weather warnings around 10, 11 a.m. tomorrow, as there could be an upgrade to amber in a few locations. Now you can see Storm Agnes will approach Southwest Ireland early on Wednesday and track northeast across Northern Ireland and Scotland before clearing on Thursday morning. There is still some uncertainty on the track and depth of Agnes. It's a very intense system going through rapids, deepening at the moment. So again, very, very small subtle differences in the positioning of it, how the jet stream interacts with it will make a difference, maybe only by a few millibars in the centre of the low, but that could be 5 or 10 miles per hour in wind gusts, which is the difference between different warning zones. Gusts of 45 to 50 miles per hour are expected widely inland in the whole of that yellow warning zone. So a very large area is going to be seeing very gusty winds. 50 to 60 miles per hour around coasts and hills. And the strongest winds are expected to affect Northern Ireland, southwest Scotland, west and northwest Wales, Cumbria and Lancashire, where some places will see gusts of 60 miles per hour and 65 to 75 miles per hour over hills and around coasts. Now, as I said, the most likely area for these strongest winds will be parts of the southern edge of the Republic of Ireland, where we're likely to see widely 65 to 75, 80 to 90 miles per hour, perhaps along coastal areas. So these really are only impacting United Kingdom. The actual strongest winds from Storm Agnes is going to be across parts of the Republic of Ireland. Now, we also do have rain warnings issued from the Met Office, and these have been updated just to bring the start time and the end time forward, likely because the low pressure system is slightly further ahead than anticipated the day before. Again, 3 p.m. tomorrow until midnight tomorrow. Again, 60 millimetres in a few spots, 30 to 50 millimetres widely, and really is issued because of the amount of rain we've seen in the last week or two, meaning there is the possibility of flash flooding, especially with the strong gusty winds as well. Could be some flooding across coastal areas. Now, also, if we go over to Met Erin, you can see we've got an orange warning issued, and this is the equivalent of an amber warning, so infrequent, dangerous, and disruptive. And this is for large swathes of the southern counties of the Republic of Ireland and for pretty much all of the Irish Sea and coastal areas of the Republic of Ireland. So very disruptive conditions are looking quite likely in these areas. We could even see, as I said, that amber warning extended maybe into Northern Ireland, parts of Wales as well. As you can see, the amber warning or the orange warning for Met Erin does actually almost border parts of Wales here and Northern England, Scotland. So there is a real possibility we could see an amber warning issued by the Met Office tomorrow. But at this moment, we don't have anything issued. Now, if you go over to the UKV, we'll be able to see how the low pressure system does evolve in terms of its precipitation and, of course, its wind gusts. Now, as we head through this evening, we do see still a few showers around, but as we head into Wednesday, the low pressure arrives. Rainfall initially, as many people wake up in the morning for rush hour for parts of the Republic of Ireland, into Northern Ireland, and it does slowly spread northwards and eastwards. Now, the rainfall doesn't actually look too intense. It will be intense in places, especially where we have that warning in Scotland, but it's not a massive wall of rain like we can see with these sort of low pressure systems. This really is a windstorm where the primary issues will be from wind. There could be some heavy thundery showers around the centre of the low as this moves in through Wednesday afternoon. Again, combined with the winds, it could be locally very disruptive. And as we head through Wednesday evening, the rainfall eventually clears and we could see the centre of the low still wrap around Scotland into the early hours of Thursday. And we could see again some more heavy rain there. As we head into Thursday afternoon, again we could see another low approach, a bit of a squall line developing on the cold front there, and again we could see another period of quite gusty winds as this low moves through, giving more extensive rain for much of England and Wales here, which won't see too much rain from Storm Agnes. And then finally into Friday afternoon, pretty dry and pleasant day, a few showers in the north and west, but nothing too much, and into Saturday, cloudier picture, but generally still pretty dry apart from the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, where we start to see another low approach and more heavy rain. Now, if you look at the wind gusts, you can see as we head into Wednesday, we're looking at 80, maybe even 90 plus miles per hour for parts of southern coastal Republic of Ireland. Very intense there. And you can see the system does slowly decrease in intensity as it moves northwards and eastwards, but we're still here at 5 p.m. on Wednesday looking widely at 60 to 70 miles per hour, coastal areas 75 or 80 miles per hour. You can see some of those really strong gusty winds coming to coastal areas of Wales, Northern England, and Scotland through Wednesday evening. And that's why I do think there is a real possibility we could see an amber warning issued here. But you can see the intensity does slowly reduce through the evening, looking more at 60 to 70 miles per hour, and eventually more like 50 or 60 miles per hour. So it does eventually clear, with still maybe a few 70 or 75 mile per hour gusts over the higher ground. As we do head into Thursday afternoon, there could be another batch of stronger winds within that cold front through Thursday afternoon and evening. So we have to keep an eye on that. But at this stage, we're looking at more at 40, 50 mile per hour gusts. So nothing too intense, but still could cause some issues on the back of Storm Agnes. If you look at the max temperatures, you can see this afternoon we saw temperatures up to 20, 22 degrees in places. Into tomorrow, still could see 20, 21 degrees in the southeast. The southeast isn't going to be too bad. It will be a bit gusty, a bit blustery in places. But really, many people will look out the window and think, what storm has pretty much southeast England is the furthest away from any of those stronger winds. It will be blustery, but shouldn't be too severe at all for most of these areas. As we do progress through Wednesday into Thursday, we do see that cold front eventually try to sweep through, and you can see much cooler, 16, 17 degrees by Thursday afternoon, and much colder further northwards and westwards. And by Friday, you could still see a 19 or 20, but widening more into the mid to high teens. And then finally Saturday, again, could see a 20 degree in London, but further northwards and westwards, under the cooler, fresher air from the Atlantic, and under lower pressure and rain. Looking at 12, 13 degrees for Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Scotland. Now, if we do have a look at the Aroma run, we'll have a look at the latest wind gusts, primarily from the Aroma run. It's actually a good spot. Aroma run, of course, cuts off the far north of Northern Ireland and much of Scotland, so sometimes we can get events there, and the Aroma is pretty useless for it. But the peak winds here, we're looking at southern Republic of Ireland and much of the Irish Sea, so it's going to be a very good run to look at this. Now, as we head into Wednesday, you can see those wind gusts arriving, and I want to point you to the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, or sort of the chart here. You can see the max wind gusts. These are max wind gusts in this frame. So this frame is the British Isles. So these are the wind gusts that the Aroma is forecasting. Now, you can see as we head into around 10, 11 a.m, we're looking at 89 mile per hour max gusts, and right on approach, just about getting to 99 miles per hour out in the Irish Sea and to parts of southern coastal Republic of Ireland there. Even some black streaks appearing in some of the heavy thundery showers. Those are probably the strongest wind gusts up to towards 100 miles per hour. Now, as we progress beyond that, it does reduce more down to 70, 80 miles per hour, but you can still see some of these pinky purple colours coming into Northern Ireland, even to Scotland, down towards Wales as well. And here there is the possibility, as I said, of an amber warning being issued, for it all slowly winds down as we enter Thursday, and you can see the max wind gusts drop more towards 60 or 70. Remember, these are the max wind gusts. Widely, the wind gusts will probably be 10, 15 miles per hour lower than this. So when we're looking at 99 miles per hour here, widely it'll be sort of 80 to 90 miles per hour across coastal areas out to sea, but the peak gusts could be around that 99 miles per hour before slowly reducing. If you look at the Aroma run, now this is actually slightly more intense as it approaches. It does show 105 miles per hour out to sea, so not impacting any land masses, but out to sea, 105 miles per hour through the early hours of tomorrow morning, before slowly reducing, and once it starts to make landfall, in terms of the low impacts start affecting the Republic of Ireland, we're looking more at 90 or 95 miles per hour winds as well, before reducing down to 60 or 70 as it slowly crosses through Northern Ireland into Scotland. Now, if you're interested to see your exact wind speeds, you can have a look at this in more detail over on WX charts if you do desire. But you can see here how the wind gusts slowly die out through Wednesday evening as the system moves northwards and eastwards, not reducing its intensity, not reducing the potential for disruption, but definitely reducing its intensity from sort of a named storm to more of a general low pressure system through Wednesday evening. As I said, into Thursday, there could be another patch of very gusty winds out through Thursday morning into the afternoon, and do need to keep an eye on that, but at this stage, it doesn't look too intense, just another gusty period. Now, if you do look at the long range, if we do start on the latest GFS, you can see Storm Agnes moving in, and quite a westerly flow through the rest of this working week. High pressure tries to build in for the weekend, but low pressure pushes back in off the Atlantic. And as we head into early days of October, we could see high pressure build in. But as I said at the start of the video, Some of the runs today have low pressure pushing back in, and look at this, another very deep area of low pressure to end the GFS. So it shows some hope with high pressure building in for a few days before the low pressure comes and spoils the party. Now, if you look at the GM, again, low pressure coming in off the Atlantic with Storm Agnes, continue to be very unsettled before high pressure builds in towards the weekend, and perhaps for the start of next week for southern areas, and actually dominates towards day 10 before we see another low move in. So similar to the GFS, builds high pressure for a short period of time, but then it breaks down, and that's sort of been a recurring theme over the last couple of weeks in the extended range of the models. Now, after you look at the ECMWF, again, low pressure continues to come in off the Atlantic, high pressure builds into next week, and towards day 10, high pressure's actually dominating. So, interestingly, ECMWF does have the high pressure holding on. It's not a particularly warm area of high pressure. If we follow those winds around, it's coming in from sort of Scandinavia, Denmark, and Northern Europe, so it would be a little bit chilly, maybe some frosts across Scotland, but really not too bad. So quite a stark contrast there. Now, after you finish by looking at the ensembles, you can see the latest GFS ensembles do have generally average to above average precipitation, above average temperatures, and precipitation actually doesn't look too high, as much of the rainfall and the winds, like we're seeing with Storm Agnes, will be further northwards and westwards. If we do compare this to Glasgow, for example, quite a bit more rainfall. So it is going to be quite a northwest-southeast split. Southeast, still going to see some rain, still going to see some showers, but likely to be slightly warmer and slightly drier. And after you compare to the ECMWF ensembles, you can see generally again, we're looking at average to above average temperatures. There will be some dips, but generally above average. And quite a bit of precipitation, but nowhere near as high as it could be, as it is further north. Once again, if we look at Glasgow, you can see much higher precipitation rates, indicating the centre of the lows are going to be much further northwards and westwards. So disruptive weather coming over the next 24 to 48 hours, so make sure you stay safe, and if you are in those warning areas with those yellow warnings at the moment, make sure you check on the Met Office warnings tomorrow morning. Said I won't be able to do a video on it, but there is a real possibility we could see some localised amber warnings issued as we wake up in the morning as Storm Agnes starts to approach. So make sure you stay safe out there over the next couple of days. It is going to be disruptive, it is going to be windy. It's not the strongest storm we've ever seen. By no means is it the strongest storm we've ever seen, but it is going to be strong. It is going to be gusty, and it's going to be widely gusty, that is. And locally, we could see some really quite bad conditions. So do, as I said, stay safe. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.